What would happen if Bunny Igelsais, one of the best of the new generation's 11, actually decided to join the Egoist League and of course be a player on the Fc Barcha squad, which was one of the worst teams in the entire league? Would Bunny joining them help them win more games and maybe even win the whole Egoist League? Or would Bunny's addition to the team hurt them more than it would do them good? Well, that's what we're going to find out today, so not to waste any more time, let's dive right into it. Alright, so we start with the Blue Lock players coming back from their short break in Blue Lock. They gather around and Ego pops up. He yaps for an ungodly amount, but the main things he says are that the U20 World Cup is only 100 days away and that victory for them would be utterly impossible, which is why he has gone all out in this new phase of Blue Lock called the Egoist League, where he has invited the 5 great European leagues, which are obviously the very best in the world. These leagues are firstly England, known for their insane speed and brute force and physical capabilities. Next up is Spain, which values technique and creativity. Next is Italy, where the players are extremely fond of creativity and mostly tactics. Moving on to France, where a lot of new and young talents start, and also where the big money is. Lastly, it's Germany, which is based on logical and rational plays. Not gonna lie, but pretty boring. But what they have is, of course, Noah, who is also pretty boring. Anyway, they don't get any more information than that. Other than that, they will get the chance to pick which league to choose, and they have to wager their future on this pick, since this will decide the lineup for the U20 World Cup. The ones we see picking Spain are Otoya and of course Bachira. Some of the other notable character picks are Isagi, who chose Germany, and Nagi, Reo, and Chigiri, who went for England. Rin and his best buddy, Shidu, went to France together, and Baru, Aiku, Nico, and Aryu, all 4 of them, chose Italy. Anyway, before they walk into their respective stratums, Isagi and Bachira have a short talk with each other, as Bachira says that no matter where they find themselves, they just need to keep on being the best one there after all, and that the most important thing about picking where to go is their intuition and where it feels right. Bachira's aura then starts to fire up as he puts his hand on Isagi and tells him to make sure that he is powered up by the next time they meet, and with that, all of the players walks into the doors that are now holding their fate. We cut right into Spain wing, or stratum, whatever you really want to call it. All of the players are shocked to see Lavinho being there in his own flesh and blood. He starts by throwing the earphones to the Blue Lock players so that they obviously can communicate with each other. Otoya then just like regularly asks Lavinho if he will teach them football, but Lavinho, as of course, pulls out his silly little face as he reveals the shocking truth that he has no plan on teaching them soccer. Everyone is firstly shocked, but Lavinho, who thinks that he is the Socrates of this timeline, says that Blue Lock is the place to create the best striker, but in his mind, he is already the best, so it would be pointless to give his tips and tricks away. Bachira then asks if that's true, and says that he thought that Noah was the best, and as he says that, we can quickly see a small panel of Bunny laughing a bit in the background. Anyway, Lavinho gets right up to Bachira's face, and firstly asks if he is picking a fight, before telling him that it doesn't matter what anyone says, as he knows that he is the best in the world, as inside of him he has his own world's best, and that it's purely his own, as it's his specific visualization. He starts juggling and playing tricks with the ball, as he tells them that if you want to be the world's best, then you can't listen to what anyone else says. However, even though he previously said that he wouldn't give them any guidance, he does tell them that they need to create their own image of what the world's best looks like, as one's originality starts there. The first one who then kind of challenges Lavinho is of course the Bachira, who jumps right in and steals away the ball, and you might think that Lavinho would have been mad by that, but it's purely the opposite, as he is happy to see someone jumping in and trying to find their own unique image. Anyway, with that I feel like we could skip the rest, as this was just a bit of a recap to how Fc Barcha's team acts. With that, we get to the start of the Egoist League and Barcha's first game against Bastard Munchen, where Bunny finally gets some screen time. Alright, so we spot the Fc Barcha players walking out, but this time it isn't Bachira who is leading the team out, but instead Bunny. Meanwhile, we do spot Bachira being right beside him. However, since Fc Barcha only plays with one forward, this creates a bit of complication, as the striker position has to go to Bunny since he is the best and is the leading player, just like how Kaiser is for Bastard Munchen at this moment. This means that Bachira will instead go to the left wing position, which is similar to what he was in the match against Nigeria, and Lara will move on to the midfield and push away some random player to the bench. Bachira will still say that the new him is here, as he is completely evolved from the training, but Isagi wouldn't just be shocked to see Bachira being a starter, but he would also notice the tall guy with a scar on his face and wonder just who that is. However, he isn't too worried about that, as he can mainly think about Bachira and how he got into the first squad team, while Isagi himself was unable to. With that, we will get the kickoff panel with not only Bachira and Kaiser, but also Bunny. However, the game isn't on just yet, as Bachira sees Isagi on the bench and says that he is going ahead. However, that isn't the only line that gets shared, as obviously Kaiser and Bunny know about each other, so I think that Kaiser would say something to Bunny along the lines of, "I'm surprised to see you here," while Bunny would just smirk and, with a determined face, tell Kaiser to be ready. With that, the rules would be explained, but then the kickoff would start, and it's Bastard Munchen who are starting with the ball, so Kaiser passes the ball over to Ness. Now this would be pretty much just faithful faithful to the original story, but instead of Lara, it would be Bachira who was in his position. But still, he wouldn't be able to do anything to stop Ness's pass, and the pass would then connect to Grim, who was going crazy on the field, then passing to Eric, who decided to pass it to Kunigami, who had the opportunity to pass to Kaiser and then score an easy goal. However, he would of course take the shot himself, which the whole team would hate him for. Once again, it would continue the way it does, and the ball would fall into the hands, or rather legs, of Bachira, so that he would get to show off just what he has learned. As while this match is about Bunny, it's a lot about Bachira, since this is the only chance he gets to show off. Bachira would easily get past all of the no-names from the bastard Munchen team, thanks to his new and insane dribbling style. After that, he would face Kunigami. The two of them would battle it out like regularly, but after a while, Bachira will find an opening and use his skills to get past Kunigami. But right behind him, there is two bastard Munchen players who doesn't want him to get past no matter what. Because of this, Bachira passes to Lara. However, this is where it's different, as I doubt that Bachira would pass to Bunny, as he is still an egoist, and he passed the ball over to Lara because he expected him to get the pass back. However, sadly, it doesn't go like that this time, as instead Lara passes to the real striker of this team, Bunny, who obviously scores the goal against these no-names defenders, which bastard Munchen has. With that, Bachira has sadly gotten robbed off his first goal. However, Bunny got his first goal in the league. Everyone would react the same way as they saw this play, as it would still be this free and playful soccer philosophy that FC Barcha has. Bachira wouldn't be too salty about missing his goal, as he would instead go over and celebrate with everyone. Isagi would think about this new and awakened Bachira, and just how different his whole playstyle has truly become. But he would also take a closer look at Bunny, and think about the awesome goal that he just made, and he would question who this guy really is. I do think that since he would be on the bench, he would ask around the others, and ask them if they know who that player is. Someone would probably have a guess, as we know that, for example, Igarashi and Tokimitsu had pretty decent knowledge about the new Gen 11 players, and overall good players. But if no one knew, then I believe that Noah would come onto the conversation, and let them know that he is called Bunny, and that he is a new Gen 11, just like Kaiser, which would leave the entire bench in awe. After that, the match would restart, and Kaiser and Ness would start their little passing game again, and they would pretty easily just steamroll through the FC Barcha players. Isagi would also glaze at both Kaiser and Ness all the way from the bench as he did before, and say how good they are. And then, after a while, Ness would once again get into the perfect pass course and send it away towards Kaiser. However, behind him, there wouldn't be Bachira, but instead Bunny, who has appeared to stop Kaiser. But even with Bunny, I know for a fact that Kaiser would have gotten this goal with his Kaiser impact due to everything lining up and, frankly, the Kaiser impact just being absolutely broken. However, what I didn't mention was that Bunny didn't play to his fullest, and honestly pretty far from it, since, he didn't think that there would be any point in doing it, as he just saw this as a calm little match, and only joined because Lavinho asked him to. But now it's different, as he has seen Kaiser's raw power with his own eyes, and that has fired something inside him, which makes him feel this strange feeling that he needs to crush Kaiser and make him feel despair, because as we know, Bunny might be the most sadistic person in the whole story, even outdoing Hiyori, as he himself said that when he sees a joyful person, it makes him want to die. So when he sees Kaiser scoring this goal and celebrating the goal, it starts to burn him up from the inside, and his eyes starts to burn up, as after Kaiser is done with his awesome celebration, he tells him straight up that this will be the last goal that he scores this entire match. Kaiser only gets excited by that, as he tells Bunny to come and go at him, and just like that, both are playing at their absolute fullest, with the scores being 1-1. Anyway, that's part 1 done. I think that I got a lot of things forward which I wanted to get through, so I'm pretty happy with this little cliffhanger I have going on. Anyway, please, if you want this What If series to continue, and if you want another part of this, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also comment so that I can see that you guys are enjoying it and wants another part. Also, please let me know if you think that this is what would have happened if Bunny was participating in the Neo Egoist League, or if you think that it would go down in a whole other way. And if you think that, then please let me know down in the comments, as I might get a bit inspired and try to include some of what you guys write. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you're curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video, which will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.